Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta, and we begin from the judiciary. The increasing workload before the different divisions of the judiciary has been an issue of concern to members of the bar and the bench, as the development is taking its toll on the quality and speed at which litigants obtain justice. The matter is receiving attention with the inauguration of 23 new judges by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. Olabode Arewa reports that the new judges are to man the Federal High Court divisions across the country, which require more manpower.
That was Justice Olufunmilola Agbaje, one of the 23 newly sworn-in judges, taking the oath of office and that of allegiance as a jurist on the Federal High Court bench. Justice Agbaje and 22 others were inaugurated by the Chief Justice of Nigeria after undergoing a rigorous selection process, as well as training on the intricacies attached to the operations of the office. Congratulations to you all, said the CJ and Justice Olukayode Ariwola. But it not only have sweet words for them, he also cautioned them to avoid pitfalls that may hamper their effectiveness as judicial officers.
Your lordships must sever ties with anything that will smear your hands and bring you into disrepute in the course of your new assignment. Like I always say, even though judicial officers are not spirit or superhuman, so much impossible things are yet expected from them by the society.
With the assumption of office, the number of judges on the bench of the Federal Courts has now risen to over 90.
It is good that we have this number of honorable judges being appointed. That will at least help to reduce some of the backlog of cases that have been there, have not been assigned.
From the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And from the Senate comes a report that the Senate has confirmed Jamila Ibrahim, Balarabe Lawal Abbas, and Olawande Ayodele as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's now join Lami Ali live at the National Assembly. Hello, Lami. Tell us how the screening went today.
Thank you very much, Ifoma. The last three additional ministerial nominees that were screened today, the list was brought in yesterday. The exercise actually was another expeditious exercise carried out by the Senate. Previously, 45 ministerial nominees were screened and confirmed, and with the 3 that were screened today and confirmed by the Senate, that brings the number to 48 of the number of ministerial nominees that have so far been confirmed by the Senate as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now I have with me Senator Abubakar Bello from Niger State. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you.
All right, you have been part of the exercise right from the commencement of the screening. We want you to share your comments on how the exercise has been so far, and then your advice to those that have been confirmed.
Well, the exercise has gone well so far, and most of the nominees have been able to convince members of the Senate of their capacity and their resolve to work effectively and efficiently with Mr. President for the benefits of Nigeria. So we hope and we pray that God will guide them and they would commit themselves to service of our dear nation, Nigeria. So far so good. I think we're quite happy with the turnout of events and how it has gone so far.
Now, 2 of those that were confirmed today are quite young people that are going to be on the cabinet of Mr. President. Do you see this as an opportunity for the youth population to bring what they have to the table so that we can move this country forward?
Well, keeping hope alive, we believe the youth have a very special role to play in the development of Nigeria. and it is very, very important to get them involved in governance. I think this will give them more hope. It will motivate them and probably encourage others to come out and participate in running government. So most of the senators were very, very pleased seeing a nominee won 34 and the other 37, and they did very well actually on the floor. So personally, I have no doubt in my mind that they would add value to this present administration.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
In the course of the exercise, remember to one of the nominees slumped, but we are hearing good news that he has recovered very well. That was due to stress, and for now we have 48 confirmed ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's back to you, Ifoma.
Thank you very much, Lami. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution to investigate alleged abuse of the powers of the Bureau for Public Procurement, leading to indiscriminate issuance of certificates of no objection to contractors handling critical projects in the country. Following a motion by Representative Peter Akpanke, the House notes that arbitrary grant of certificates of no objection to contractors without mandatory post-procurement audit of their contract performance has led to increased cases of abandoned and failed projects across the country.
Worried that if urgent steps are not taken to investigate the allegations and address any proven infractions, the Bureau of Public Procurement is likely to transform itself from a regulator to a disruptor and eventually endanger the entire public procurement process. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Public Procurement to investigate the above allegations and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action.
Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports that the Green Chamber also passed a resolution to protect and secure the aquatic and terrestrial habitat of host communities in the Niger Delta region. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has expressed federal government's commitment to the well-being of displaced persons across the country. This was emphasized by the Federal Commissioner, Mr. Aliu Tijani Ahmed, when he visited some IDPs camps in Abuja to distribute relief items in the spirit of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary. Ruth Agwele reports.
It is a new dawn for these internally displaced persons in Durumi camp, here in the Federal Capital Territory, who are excited as their hopes have been ignited. This is the first visit of the Federal Commission of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons to the camp, and no better way to express their gratitude for the gesture presented before them. In a bid to commemorate Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary, the provision of relief items ranging from agricultural inputs, educational supplies to food items, which was distributed as part of efforts to provide sustainable solutions for persons of concern.
I am elated with all the items I received today. Before now, I used to borrow farming tools to harvest my maize. Now, I can do it with mine.
The next point of call was Wasa IDP camp, housing more than 7,000 IDPs and refugees. The act was replicated, which incited emotions.
This is huge for me, and only God can repay them. I am very grateful.
The last visit was the IDP camp in Karshi, where special learning tutorials was conducted for the children, who also participated with excitement.
We are indeed grateful to God for today, and my prayer is that God should continue to make more ways like this for us.
The situation there is very sympathetic. We have seen the area, MOU is being drafted, and by the grace of God, and with the effort of the government and donors, we will build the schools, build the hospitals to ensure that the children there were well educated.
A new dispensation with renewed commitment to proffer durable solutions to displaced persons in the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
A broad-based implementation of the renewed hope agenda of the federal government must not only include strategic development of the agricultural sector, but must also recognize women and create an atmosphere that empowers them. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, said this while paying audience to Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who was at the villa to discuss areas of collaboration. The minister, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmood, says the collaboration becomes necessary in view of the fact that there is no department that takes care of women in the FCT. Applauding the minister for placing premium on women inclusion, the First Lady says moves by the FCT to develop agriculture, one of the priority areas for the Renewed Hope initiative, is a cheering one with a lot of prospect to be exploited. You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Let's take a break now. The news continues in a moment. To stay. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, alerts the public on the possibility of deterioration in visibility in some northern states as a result of observed dust haze propagated into the country. NIMET, in a statement, says the next 24 hours, the expected strong wind that will be accompanied with dust could further reduce horizontal visibility, especially in Katsina, Kano, Nguru, Jigawa, Potiskum, and Maiduguri. The Weather Watch Agency therefore advises members of the public to take necessary precautions due to dust particles presently in suspension over the atmosphere. Individuals with respiratory ailments are advised to protect themselves as the current weather condition is not good for their health. Airline operators are also advised to avail themselves of weather reports from NIMET for effective planning in their operations. And for additional details on the weather condition in Maiduguri, let's join Jama Adamu, who will tell us what the situation is in Maiduguri concerning the weather. Hello, Jama.
Yeah, welcome to Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. I can confirm to you, through to the prediction of NIMET, there is dramatical change in the weather condition here in Maiduguri and environs. It rained here 3 days ago, but from yesterday to this moment, the weather has changed drastically. It's like we are in a harmattan. I'm now being joined by an environmental and geographical expert, Osman Aliu, who will shed light on the weather situation here in Maiduguri. Sir, what is happening?
Yeah, we are experiencing harmattan. And this harmattan is a climatic change, or is a climate condition which occur or is as a result of wind blowing from northwest of Africa into the Gulf of Guinea. So when wind is blowing from West Africa, it picks sand, dust, suspended particles on the air or in the air. So by picking the suspended particles, sand and other dust, it now transforms into harmattan that we are now experiencing in Borno State.
Harmattan around here normally begins in November. We are in early October. Does this call for alarm?
Yeah, this is an extraordinary weather condition because normally the weather or the duration or when this harmattan normally started from November to March of the next year to the previous year we are in now. So this is to show us, or this is an evidence, an effect of climate change, because climate change has affected the weather condition automatically. So this is an extraordinary weather situation we are facing here in Borno State.
Are we still expecting rains around here, or it's over by the predictions?
Yeah, we are still expecting rainfall because even the rainfall pattern has been affected by the climate change, which, you know, normally like August used to be peak of rainfall. But because of the climatic change, the pattern of rainfall has completely changed. And now we are still experiencing...
Thank you. In addition to what he has said, medical experts are cautioning people with respiratory issues to be more cautious, especially at this moment. And that's all we can accommodate from this end. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much indeed, me, Jama'a. And we seem to be experiencing quite the same hazy weather condition here in the FCT. Now, for more reports on Nationwide, it's time to go over to our Lagos Network Center with Hingino as our guide from that axis. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Ifoma. The creative industry in Africa is set to receive an additional boost, starting with Nigeria, the home of Nollywood, courtesy the British Council Transformative Initiative, tagged Film Lab Africa, targeted at empowering emerging filmmakers and television producers. Head of Arts Nigeria and Regional Lead, Creative Economy British Council, disclosed this at a gathering in Lagos. Diana Ajali reports.
From casting, locations, movie shootings to scripting, Nigerian movie stands out globally. How best can this be sustained? Other than championing the education of the younger generation with creative virtues into all areas of film value chain and TV production, which will in turn contribute to the growth of the nation's GDP, as well as job creation, is what the Film Lab Africa aims to achieve.
It's a very robust program, and we're hoping to support a new pipeline of filmmakers. We're looking for a next generation. We want to support it so that it's sustainable.
The launch of Film Lab Africa by concerned parties says will further concretize this dream.
Understanding that's the foundation of the creative economy anywhere in the world. That your story has to be authentic, it has to be a narrative that resonates with the domestic people. We need to invest in domestic monetization of the work that we do.
The various challenges and opportunities within the creative space, talking about the film, the music, and then eventually we hope to extend this to fashion.
Marching west with action, Film Lab Africa by British Council will commence a 10-week training on various filmmaking processes and TV production for beginners already in the movie industry. The program is expected to receive 60 entries for a start, after which 20 best craft works and plans selected will be rewarded with a grant of £5,000 each for establishment. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
In health now, healthcare system in Nigeria is to witness another major transformation in local vaccine and drug manufacturing. Experts are keen into the project using active pharmaceutical ingredients and excipients, lack of which affected the country's management of COVID-19 pandemic. Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye disclosed this at the opening ceremony of a 4-day sensitization workshop on local manufacturing of active pharmaceutical ingredients and excipients in Lagos. Diana Ajale again reports.
The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, which lasted for more than a year globally, no doubt gave birth to different positive ideas, particularly in the health sector. And experts are embracing the new normal by utilizing opportunities and lessons gained from the ravaging COVID-19 pandemic. Nigeria is not an exception. Gathered in this hall are stakeholders with similar goals from within and outside Nigeria. They are here to brainstorm on effective ways to enhance local manufacturing of vaccines and drugs with active pharmaceutical ingredients and excipients.
This cannot be actualized without an effective business environment through efficient legislative policies that will drive the desired standardized drugs production.
Over-dependence on importation of drugs or food is a sign of insecurity to any country. And the drive for NAFDAC is to ensure that the 70% of products that we import, we change the paradigm.
This feat, which was a
Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, represented, said the ministry is committed to supporting the agency as it continues to work towards promoting standards and made in Nigeria products.
The ministry will also be committed to ensuring that NAFDAC becomes a regulatory institution that has capacity to protect and promote the public health.
The 4-day sensitization workshop tagged manufacturing of active pharmaceutical ingredients and excipients had in attendance regulators and students. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That's our contribution from here. It's now back to Ifoma for the continuation of the news.
Thanks, Hingido. Governor Umar Namadi says maintenance of the peace and security of Jigawa State is a job that must not be compromised to keep the state secured from all forms of transgressions. He said this while receiving in audience the General Officer commanding 1 Mechanized Division, Nigerian Army and Commander 455 Kano Air Force Base at the Government House in Dutse. Mohammed Musa Askira has details.
The General Officer commanding 1 Mechanized Division of Nigeria Army Kaduna, Major General B.U. Okoro, was the first to be received by the governor. The visit, according to Major General Okoro, was to congratulate the governor on his election victory and familiarize himself with the army formations in the state.
We recognize that security is a responsibility of everybody, and we're happy that the people of Jigawa State have invested in ensuring that criminals and terrorists do not have hiding place in Jigawa State.
For us to maintain peace in Jigawa State, we need to collaborate and we need to work together to ensure the safety and security of our people.
Meanwhile, the Commander Nigeria Air Force 455 Base Service Group Kano, Air Commander Mustafa Suleiman, who led his men to the Jigawa seat of power, said he is in the state to felicitate with the governor and assure him of the Air Force support to continue to keep the state safer.
We'll continue to support the Nigeria police because when it comes to internal security, Nigeria police is the lead to assist the Jigawa State and Kano State to ensure that security is enhanced and sustained.
As a government, we will do our own possible best to ensure that we maintain and improve on the security situation in Jigawa State. Jigawa State government will support you and will support all other security agencies to ensure that our people are secured.
The commanding officers were recently posted to their respective offices. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Army Resource Center, as one of the think tanks of the Nigerian Army, has reiterated its commitment to live up to expectations by imparting knowledge to personnel of the armed forces and critical stakeholders for value-based leadership skills. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this played out at the Work Ethics and Organization Performance course for personnel of the National Youth Service Corps, in line with its mandate to contribute to the accelerated growth of the national economy, develop common ties among Nigerian youths, and promote national unity and integration. The course took the participants through critical thinking, team building, and elements of adaptive leadership in a fast-evolving and dynamic world.
Team building and critical thinking in the organization, this time around the National Youth Service Corps. We run a similar program and they believe their staff will benefit more if they want to run a similar program specifically meant for them, and that's why we've run the program.
Participants described the course as timely as it has expanded their horizons towards capacity building of Nigerian youths.
Strategies on how to handle my own schedule and also how to work with my colleague to achieve maximum results.
How to manage the corps member at a particular time, because we are field officer, we deal with a lot of human beings, we deal with them from different angles. So coming here, I've gained a lot of experience.
The 5-day training program drew participants from the National Youth Service Corps. The concept of safe schools cannot be ignored, as it ensures that children have a safe and secure environment to learn and develop on one hand, and to prevent children from dropping out of schools on the other hand. To this end, the Safe Schools initiative of the federal government, coordinated by the NSCDC, provides oversight functions in addressing issues of threats and attacks on schools and, by extension, overall safety in the country. Grace Ayoleke reports.
Considering the importance of education on human capital development and overall national development, reports of attacks on schools inhibit learning processes, making it expedient for government to deploy extraordinary measures to tackle the spate of attacks on school facilities in Nigeria. The Safe Schools Response Team is established to maximize capacity with a framework to cater to the vulnerability of Nigerian schools.
For us here, we have two lines or two domains that we are looking at. One, to build human dimension of security. Human content is very key, and that is what we are doing.
With over 20 million out-of-school children in Nigeria and insecurity responsible for the surge, the coordinating agency, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in collaboration with other security agencies and key players in the education sector, are dedicated to ensuring standard measures in safeguarding schools all over the country. In Ibadan, Grace Ayoleke, NTA News.
Let's now link up with Grace in Ibadan to tell us how well we are doing with the Safe School initiative. Hello, Grace. Tell us, how well are we doing with the Safe School initiative?
Yes, Ifoma, security of schools is a multidimensional phenomenon as it goes beyond the physical presence of security operatives on school premises. I have with me the Commandant, NSCDC, Oyo State Command, Dr. Michael Adaralewa, who would shed more light on the Safe School initiative. Sir, there are external and internal factors affecting the safety of children in schools. How is the Corps working to tackle this headlong?
Thank you very much. From our findings, we noticed that some of the internal factors that can affect the safety of schools, courtesim, bullying of students, and giving uncommensurate punishment even to students when they err, drug abuse, and so on and so forth. While external factors, you know, most of our schools are not really sited in a very good location. We need to look at the terrain, the topography, before we site our schools. That is why most of our schools are subject to flood and to incessant rain, storm, and what have you. And also, we don't even have enough perimeter fencing in our school, which is one of the ways to wait away criminals from our school premises. And what of the use of technology, the installation of CCTV camera, the surveillance equipment, and so on and so forth. These are lacking in our schools, which with Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, we are working assiduously to address, besides providing physical security alongside with other security agencies. We are really working on that. And that is why our Commandant General brought up a concept of safe school response team, which we are training. We started this about 2 weeks ago in Makurdi for North Central and Southwest. We are doing presently, which will have the closing ceremony tomorrow. We are doing presently in Ibadan, in Odogbo Katumet Barracks in Oyo, Ibadan. So the program is still ongoing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And you were talking about the Safe School Response Team, which is presently being inaugurated in the Southwest region. Going forward, what are we expecting from this, sir?
Yeah, thank you. We are seriously equipping our response team how to get intelligence, how to prepare for any distress call whenever it arises, and how to really get them equipped, both mobility and in terms of logistics, to deal with this menace. And they are fully aware of what to do at any point in time. So the public should be expecting a very good safe school this time around. You can send your children to school and you can go and sleep and rest, and you will know that your child or your children are very safe in the school.
Yes, sir. We've been speaking with the Commandant Oyo State, NSCDC Oyo State Command. Nationwide continues in Makurdi with Fatima.
Thanks, Grace, and welcome to Makurdi. Following the recent collapse of Dunamis Church building in the North Bank area of Makurdi, Benue State, the senior pastor Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enenche, says henceforth the church will ensure that appropriate safety measures are followed when erecting church structures. He said this when he visited the scene of the incident which claimed the life of the resident pastor. Blessing Omeche Ebute has details.
The Dunamis Church, Mission Ward, North Bank, Makurdi had collapsed early hours of Tuesday, 3rd October, while 3 persons and the resident pastor, Sonny Ezekiel Ahmed, were in a night prayer session. Unfortunately, the resident pastor of the church lost his life while the others escaped unharmed. Senior pastor, Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enenche, accompanied by his wife, Pastor Becky, who visited the scene of the incident, condoled the church.
As a ministry and as a commission, we employ all manner of due diligence in our procedures. This we have done in several things we have done. But we believe that going forward, we are looking into in more detail the procedures and the everything, technical details of construction, and trusting the Lord that this kind of thing will be forestalled in the future.
Dr. Paul, while commiserating with the family of the deceased, pointed out that the late resident pastor was a committed and dedicated servant of God.
It's the loss of a very, very precious life, very, very dedicated servant of the Lord. We feel the deepness of the loss for ourselves first, for his immediate family, of course, and the church he pastors, the body of Christ generally, and even the state as a whole.
He enjoined all worshippers and the Christian community to remain fervent in prayers, as God has already taken charge of the situation. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
The quest for a prosperous Nigeria can only be achieved when citizens are more concerned about what they can offer in order to bring that desired development and growth. This was the call by the Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, at various fora to mark the 63rd Independence Anniversary celebration. Alias ETF has more.
Activities marking the 2023 Independence celebration featured Jumat prayers at the Makurdi Central Mosque, as well as an interdenominational church service at the Methodist Cathedral, South Bank, Makurdi. The 63rd Independence Anniversary was also marked with a symposium where various speakers in their paper presentations advocated a holistic appraisal of Nigeria's political culture for a better nation.
The current political leadership in the state must be intentional in the area of effecting a definite paradigm shift in the Benue narrative.
It is high time we have an economic team to begin to guide the government as to how to go about the partnerships. We have enough potentials for agri in terms of production, processing, irrigation, farming.
Governor Hyacinth Alia's addresses at various events, including the state broadcast to commemorate the 63rd anniversary, centered on the need for citizens to focus more on their contributions to nation building rather than what the country can offer to them.
Or is it within your range to uplift the state, to contribute to the upliftment of the nation? Are things the way you anticipate them to be? Do you have the contributions to make it better?
He is emphatic that the virtues of hard work, dedication and commitment to doing the right thing remain vital for a prosperous Nigeria. In Makudi, Elias, Etiaf, NTA News.
And that's it from Makudi. Nationwide continues with Ifoma in Abuja.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, fertilizer is a major farm input used by farmers to enhance food production. It is against this background that the Plateau State government procured the commodity to assist farmers, particularly as they prepare for the dry season farming. Grace Akwe-Gotip has details.
The fertilizer is to assist farmers improve on their farming activities and subsequently increase food production. While inspecting the commodities, Governor Mutfwang emphasized the need to assist farmers with the necessary input to ease their operations.
I'm glad to say that we have ordered well over 200 trucks of fertilizer. And as you can see, they are being offloaded. When we have finished taking delivery and worked out the logistics for distribution, we'll be able to commence immediately across the 17 local governments. Our desire is to boost food production on the plateau and make sure that we find a way to subsidize agriculture for the benefit of our people.
The state government, he adds, will monitor its utilization, cautioning the beneficiaries against reselling the commodities. In Jos, Grace Akwe-Gotip, NTA News.
Now, to give us more updates on the Plateau State government's move to boost food production, let's join Indeyang in Jos. Now, if you can hear me, can you throw more light, on reactions, of the farmers on this initiative by the Plateau State government to assist them prepare for the dry season farming?
Yes, thank you, Ifoma. Plateau State is one of the states in Nigeria that prides itself as an agricultural hub of the country with the array of crops that the state produces. To strengthen this, the state governor, on assumption of duty, promised to work in synergy with organizations like the World Bank, whose country director visited the state, to further collaborate under the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape AgriSal project towards promoting and boosting food production amongst other targets of the project. The focus cuts across farmers and vulnerable groups. The state is also keen into the 5-year national strategic plan of the federal government to boost potato production in the country. This is to help stimulate the economy, improve employment opportunities, and also ensure sustained food production in not just the state, but the country. The strategic plan is also to ensure that potato production is globally competitive in view of the comparative advantage the state has in this regard. Recently, the governor also ordered that several hectares of farmlands that were in 3 local government areas affected by violent conflict should be cultivated towards revitalizing farming activities in these conflict areas. Also, the governor, towards ensuring the all-year-round farming season, the government took delivery, as you heard from the report, over about 200 trucks of fertilizer to be distributed to farmers across the 17 local government areas of the state. And I can tell you that the state government has put in place modalities to ensure that this fertilizer gets to the real farmers.
I don't know if do you have a guest with you
Yes,
that can shed more light?
as it is, the farmers are quite excited with this development because it will encourage them to go into dry season farming. Ifeoma, that is all we have from you, but we will take a short break, after which Ifeoma will continue with the Nationwide in the studio. Thank you.
Nationwide with Obey as our guide. Hello, Obey.
Welcome to Benin. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki says the state government is poised at strengthening its 30-year urban and regional master plan for a sustainable urban development. He stated this shortly after a World Habitat Day Resilient Walk. Enaini completes the report.
For the state government, environmental sustainability is key, and many trees and parastatals have taken up the challenge to sensitize citizens on subject matter as they embarked on a sensitization walk. Areas covered include Sapele Road to the city center, the urban market, down to Siloko Road. The sensitization train was also at Oliha, en route at Kenzua Road, down to Airport Road, with focus on how cities can position their economies to benefit residents. The over 6 kilometers walk terminated at Government House, with the governor reading his policy statement.
You can see what we're going through in terms of erosion, seeing what we're going through in terms of landslides. But we need our communities. We need you professionals in the built environment. We need all of you to help us raise the alarm that we cannot continue this way.
For the ministries, ensuring a sustainable environment is voluntarily compulsory.
The habitat does not belong to government, it belongs to everybody. And we all have a responsibility. If I do not keep my area clean, if I do not plant a tree, if I do not build houses where they are supposed to be built, if I do anyhow to the habitat, it will eventually catch up with me.
The expectation here is to see that desired change towards the environment. In Benin, good luck in Aini, NTA News.
Some Islamic scholars have advised Nigerians to support the present administration in Nigeria to evolve a better society where basic infrastructure for socio-economic development is guaranteed. This was at a public lecture titled Towards Stability, Growth and Prosperity in Benin City, Edo State. Eugenia Ndobisi has the report.
Reappraising the journey so far in Nigeria, a cross-section of Nigerians, including some Islamic scholars, listed competence, character, humility, among others, as attributes that can drive good governance in Nigeria. They explained that for Nigeria to move forward, the country needs a set of leaders that understand the problems, clear-headed and resolute at resolving them, and called on Nigerians to be patient with President Bola Tinubu in moving Nigeria out of her present economic situation.
We need to be patient with government. We need to be good followers.
To overcome the challenge of national development, we need strong and competent leadership. Leadership that is also rooted in character, in some key values to drive national rebirth.
We just need a will to overcome all these challenges.
We need lots of good governance in this country and in our state.
Commending President Tinubu's new policies for economic recovery, Nigerians called on the president to put in more efforts at strengthening the nation's economy and security. The annual lecture by the Muslim Congress also stressed the impact of Western education in the teaching of Islamic education. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back now to Ifeoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Ifeoma.
Thank you very much, Obey. Let's now join our sports desk for the latest in the world of sports.
About 2,000 skaters drawn from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory are set to compete at the maiden National Skating Championship in Abuja this November. President of the Skating Federation of Nigeria, Major General Maikano Abdullahi, at a press conference in Abuja, revealed that the championship will serve as qualifier for the World Skating Championship in Greece.
There will be a marathon race in Greece. Our winners, we are going to select the potentials and we are going to camp them and we are going to Greece by the grace of God to compete among the nations.
Super Eagles and Nottingham Forest defender Ola Aina has been voted as the club's best player for the month of September following his outstanding display so far this season. The 26-year-old has made a positive impact since joining Forest on a free transfer following his departure from Torino. Featuring 5 times in the current Premier League competition, sadly, the defender is said to miss the Super Eagles friendlies against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique later this month due to injuries sustained in Sunday's home tie against Brentford, and a return date is unknown as announced by Nottingham Forest. Finally, having suffered another defeat in the UEFA Champions League this season, Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag has allayed fears of his future at the club as he continues to back underperforming goalkeeper Andre Onana. United lost 3-2 at home to Galatasaray to remain bottom of the group. Elsewhere, Arsenal lost 2-1 at Lens. Real Madrid edged out Napoli 3-2 at Naples, while FC Copenhagen lost 2-1 to Bayern Munich. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And with Sports Updates, we conclude Nationwide for today. We thank you for being part of our production. I am Ifeoma Ojinta. Bye for now.